Welcome to Fight News Now Extra. I'm John Pollock, taking you through all of the news in mixed martial arts with our analysts John Ramdeen and Robin Black joining me to discuss. In the news today, we have the fallout from the bizarre K-1 finals on Saturday. The Korean Zombie won't be fighting anytime soon, and Conor's staying ready so he doesn't have to get ready. UFC featherweight Conor McGregor will be heading to Brazil for the UFC 179 card and watching the Jose Aldo-Chad Mendes fight up close, but is also looking at taking another fight before going for the title. McGregor posted online that he believes the winner of the title fight won't be ready again until mid-2015 and is working with the UFC on securing his next opponent. Chan Sung Jung, best known to mixed martial arts fans as the Korean Zombie, has received news that he will have to participate in 2 years of mandatory military service for South Korea and thus putting his career on hold for the time being. Jung has not fought since August of 2013 when he separated his shoulder during a bout with Jose Aldo, which has given him numerous problems over the past year. And the K-1 Max Finals went down on Saturday here on Fight Network with our own John Ramdeen calling the action. There was no shortage of controversy in the main event finals, with tournament favorite Buakaw Banchamek walking out of the finals against Enrico Kale and not participating in the extension round, leading to Kale being declared the victor. And I'm here with Robin Black, and John Ramdeen is back from Thailand, where he called the K-1 Max show this past Saturday. Congratulations on the job, John. But you were there firsthand for what everyone is discussing here and had to react to this in the moment with Buakaw walking out after 3 rounds with Enrico Kale. What happened and what was like the fallout after the show involving Buakaw?
To be honest, we still don't know the reasons for Buakaw and why he decided to leave the venue, not only the ring, but the entire venue. Word is that he's already signed with another organization. He's had disparaging comments about K-1 leading up to this fight, and it's something that K-1's going to address moving forward. But, you know, I think that the fans and the people of Thailand, they were the ones that were cheated out because they came to see this guy perform. They love Buakaw. This guy is a huge star, not only around the world, but in his home country. He's on the side of buses, he's in movies, and TV commercials, and for him to come out and do that and not really fulfill his contract really doesn't make sense. But the thing is, we have to give credit to Enrico Kale. This kid's a 22-year-old guy who went in and faced an idol in martial arts. He came out, and this is a rematch. So, you know, he went back to the drawing board, figured out the necessary things to get the victory, and did exactly what he needed to do, and he left Thailand with the belt around his waist.
Yeah, and he should be congratulated. I thought he won round 1, and 2 and 3 were close enough. They could have been draws.
And that's the thing. Everybody's, oh, it's a travesty. Buakaw, you know, he owned this guy for 3 rounds. People look at the rules of K-1, the throws and stuff, they don't count. And the fact is, this fight was so close. It's not as
if unlike in mixed martial arts, you see plenty of 10-10 rounds in kickboxing. They're much more lenient. That if it's very close, then it's a draw round.
Yeah, exactly. If he won round 1 and the other 2 were a draw, the kid wins, you know? And the truth is, as much as we're going to come down on Buakaw, and it was dicey, there was a rope thing and a lot of stuff, and he's been talking and stuff, but ultimately, I don't know if you can honestly say he didn't fulfill his contract.
I know what you mean.
It is weird to go running out of there. But if after round 2 or round 3, they say, you got to do another round, I'm like, I'm done. My leg hurts. My brain hurts. I'm exhausted. That's just a TKO retirement.
That's true. But,
you know, ultimately.
I agree.
Physically, I think most watching that figure,
that's right.
Buakaw physically could have continued. He just chose
not. He's gone an extra round with Andy Sauer. He's got an extra round with Andre Dida in the past. And people believe that he was ahead. You know, even myself, I think you were swayed by the fact that he was dumped a bunch of times. But whatever. The fact is, the people are talking about it. We got to see some great fights. Paul Daly looked good. He overcame adversity. He said those kicks really, really hurt him. Andre Dida put on a show. So overall, it was a great experience.
I thought it was good. And if people are talking, people are talking. Perfect. Sometimes you forget. But people are talking about K-1. There were some other great fights, and Buakaw moves on.
Also some action, because this is the first time we've spoken since the weekend. We saw World Series of Fighting put on a show. Chris Horodecki, I thought, looking very, very good in his outing. Jake Shields looking very dominant in his main event fight. But to me, fight of the weekend was Joe Warren, Eduardo Dantas at Bellator. This was a fight that, if you missed it, I thought one of the best fights of the year. Joe Warren unifying the bantamweight title, and it was a weekend where they did get a bit more focus. I think Bellator and World Series of Fighting, one of the rare weekends where you don't have that huge UFC shadow to perform under.
And you have to expect that, you know, Bellator that was a strategic move, and they're going to continue to do these things. You know, just talking to Paul Daly in Thailand, he said, you know, one of the reasons why I decided to re-sign with Bellator is because of Scott Coker and Scott Coker's knowledge and his understanding of the mixed martial arts landscape. And I think that we're going to see these small improvements from the Bellator organization to the point where it's like, wow, you know what? These guys, sure, they might not be the #1, they might not be able to be the #1 organization, but they are clearly the #2 promotion in the world. And I think Coker he'll be absolutely fine with that.
For sure, I think he will too. He's not driven by ego, and people who aren't driven by ego are just looking for their own victories, and it doesn't have to be the victory. But you keep putting on fights like that. Like that one was a really interesting one too, because you know, of all the cliches in the world, and there are websites that are just dedicated to sports cliches. You could just say them out if you wanted to.
Didn't we use them for the World Combat Games?
Yeah, I believe we did.
110%.com.
Yeah, 110%.com. And in all of the sports cliches, who wants it more? That's a funny one. But Joe Warren totally wanted it more.
That
Joe
fifth
Warren,
round, I mean, I don't know how you guys had it scored. I thought it was even going into that 5th round. And you also, I mean, Joe Warren, very lucky he didn't have a point deducted in that final round. We could have had a situation where he won the round. Exactly. It would have been a 9-9 round based on where he just kicked him right in the face with a downed opponent. But nonetheless, the fight continued. I completely agree with you. Joe Warren, if you're a fan of just grappling, I mean, it was something to watch for 25 minutes. The better strikes for Dantas, but Joe Warren, that 5th round was something to watch.
Desperation to win.
The thing about Joe Warren, all you have to do is go and look at that fight with Pat Curran. Joe Warren is never giving up. This guy is a different type of athlete, different type of animal, and it's great to see him become this champion again.
A lot of people had counted him out, and they looked to that Pat Curran fight, but 135 pounds, I thought Joe Warren and Dantas both looked great on Friday night. That is all for us. For Robin Black, John Ramdeen, I'm John Pollock. Stay tuned for more Fight News Now Extra. It's coming up.